Okay, so it's the first chord is this first inversion type of E. So your middle finger's on E on the 5th fret of the 2nd string, the index finger's on the 4th fret of the 3rd string, and your ring finger's on the 6th fret of the 4th string. If you imagine, a C chord underneath it, it's kind of you're in the C position of the key of E. I think the furnace is kicking in, and if you like heat, please like and subscribe. I am trying to get up to 1,000, beat that 1,000 hurdle, and it's hard though with my waxing and waning self-confidence and enthusiasm. But the next chord is this, and that's kind of this one kind of shows you where everybody's at. You've got John on the 9th fret, 3rd string. This is all on the 9th fret, and Paul's on the 3rd of the chord at the 9th fret, and George is on the 5th. So it's kind of like this is like an encapsulation of the voicing. You got John on the root in the middle, Paul up on the 3rd. It's on real. That's where it's beat 1 and kind of shows the arrangement. And then we get to a B chord, which you can also play like this. I'm noticing I like playing it like that sometimes, because then you can at least get what happens here in the B chord. Basically, George breaks out of like the top 2 voices, John and Paul move in parallel, like they can have that real nowhere man, that little scoopy thing or whatever you want to call it. But George doesn't have that. He's singing the bass, so he's kind of he's a real nowhere man. Like he's able to go nowhere man because he's singing, right? But on guitar, that's not going to work with these guys in parallel. So a solution I found was to finger it like that, and then at least these 2 fingers can do that, and then you land the bar, and that gives you the Keith Richards type of chord, and then you resolve it to this B chord on the 4th fret. All this stuff is 4th strings, 3rd and 2nd string. So I'll talk you through that. Or let's just do a spot check on this. So that's 9, 8, 7, and I'm fingering it like that, because then I can go. This is nowhere land. This is good for me to practice this. I hope I'm not too quiet. It's nighttime. I know I get a lot of a lot of noise complaints. Or not noise complaints. The complaints that the video is too quiet, and it's because it's always late at night. Or everybody's sleeping. And then the second, so let's just break this down one by one. So John is, he's a real nowhere man. George is on E, or Paul's on E, he's a real nowhere man. And then Georgie's on E, he's a real nowhere man. So you and your buddies can all get together and learn that. goes down to sitting A, 2nd fret, and then you can just do a normal A like that. You don't need to do the weird fingering here, I don't think. Then back to the first inversion E that we started with. Then it goes to an F sharp minor, then to an E. You could play like that. E is like, this is like the top of an E chord. So you get this ending that's the ring finger can, George's part can do the scooping. And that's the thing about the scooping. You don't want to be too fussy about it, but you want to get it in there when you can. But sometimes, if it's not convenient, leave it out of that voice, and you're playing guitar. The F sharp is just this, like a 4th fret and the middle finger barred. So let's go from the individual. Minting in his nowhere land. That's John, minting in his nowhere land. Polly's going, sitting in his nowhere land. So he's got a skip there, and that's where the 7th is in the scale. Like if this is the 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's the 7, 6, 5. So he's kind of in that zone, and he could say like, sitting in his nowhere land, sitting in his nowhere land, a major 7th, nowhere land. It's a little folky, a little Peter, Paul, and Mary, but that's the major 7. So he's got a skip, and then that means George's part, sitting in his nowhere land. Now he's in the parallel harmony with John. So this song is symbolic of the Beatles' relationship. They're always trying to jockey to be who's closest to John, or at least they're in the early days. And then I love Beatle books and stuff like that. Anyway, so last line is F sharp minor. George and John on the 4th fret of the 5th and 4th string, and then index finger on the 3rd fret. Paul McCartney of the 2nd fret of the 3rd string. Sorry, F sharp minor. All things must pass. How's that? And then it goes parallel like that to an A. You can see it's an E formation of an A. So you don't have to lift these 2 fingers off. You just go from minor to major. But then the minor does come next. But what's interesting, and I never noticed this before, it goes minor, but John also sings the major 7th. Nowhere plans. So it gives you this augmented tonality. Or you can think of it as a minor major 7th. And the Beatles they've had that sounded since the beginning. Anyway, so that's 7, 6, 5. We're on the 5th and the 4th and the 3rd strings now. And then where plans, what you do is it's like you're going like this, and then leading the middle finger to the 3rd fret of the 5th string, and then the pinky's on the 2nd or 4th fret of the 4th string, and your index completes the chord on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string, and that's a nice diminished chord, F sharp diminished chord. But the thing is, John's part has that thing in it So you got a bar. That's the thing now. Maybe you should get that bar on first, actually. Yeah. It's probably smoother to get it on first. So you're kind of going, you're barring on the second fret of the fourth and third string, and then you've got your middle finger on the third fret C, and then this is doing all the minor six action. So that teams up like no plans, nowhere plans. Resolving on an E, fifth through third, octave below. So they've traveled a whole octave. So I'm gonna try it. Oh yeah, and there's the other part of the song. I didn't really, you know what? If everybody wants to do the, I could probably. I've looked at it a little. My tone is really weird today too. I'll leave the B section for another day because you see I've worked through it a little bit. I really like this missing. It's like how Johnny Guitar Smith might play it. Oh, you know what? Let's do it together, okay? We're gonna go nice and slow. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll go first. You know, I'll go first and then you go. Ready? Oh, you don't need to do it that way. You can go like this. When we get to the end, I'll keep going, but with no spaces this time, but still slow. Okay, well, that's, you could learn that, and then you could learn how to sing it. You know, you could even, like, try to, like, he's a real nowhere man sitting in his nowhere land, making all his nowhere plans for nobody. Like, try to play one, and I was trying to sing George. George has the most interesting part, or the most one with most skips, and the other two are a little easier, I guess, a little more logical, and his is like the bass part that has to have all the skips So, but it doesn't have to, too. That's another thing. You can examine it. Like, I really wanted to, you could play it. Or it might be nice to go like, oh, sorry, like maybe this. Just slightly guitarize the, is that missing the point of doing the vocal arrangement on guitar? Okay, so don't be as blind as you can be. Try to see all the harmonies and stuff in there, and cool. And if there's any demand, I'll do a proper B section video. And but no pressure. I bid you good night.